at the top with the East bracket, you could pretty much guarantee that Duke was going to make it to the Sweet 16, but they were down to 16 seeded Siena by 11 points at halftime. But the team that I really think has shown me a lot is St. John's beating UConn by 20 points in the title game and then just rolling off victories, blowing out Northern Iowa, and then beating Kansas in a close game. Rick Pitino was able to just drop a play. And I feel like that game-winning layup we saw last night was way too easy. Like that should not happen on a final possession. Where didn't Kansas foul them like 5 times in a row to get the clock all the way down to 3 seconds?
Yeah.
And you let shout out to Mr. Darling, but his only bucket of the game, and he's probably shorter than me and you. He's probably only like 6 foot or 6'1". Nobody was there to come with help defense. I don't know what was happening that last play. So St. John's impressed me winning that game. They're gonna have a hell of a opponent in Duke in the Sweet 16. The team I really want to talk about, Michigan State. They showed a lot of heart in that Louisville game. Cohen Carr, one of the best dunkers in the country, showed what he can do on offense other than dunk. He was given great hustle plays, knocked down a corner three, and then UConn took care of business against UCLA. We had the bald-headed matchup between Mick Cronin and Danny Hurley, two of the biggest assholes in the college basketball landscape in terms of coaches. What are your thoughts kind of on the East region?
Yeah. So I have Michigan State coming out of the East for me. I have them winning an upset in the Elite Eight to go into the Final Four, where I have them beating Duke. I mean, can you doubt Tom Izzo in March? Tom Izzo in March is it's 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 electric. I mean, I'm not a Michigan State fan, but Tom Izzo in March is one of the better head coaches of all time, and them sneaking in at the 3 seed and ending off the regular season well. I know they didn't do the best in the Big Ten tourney. Nonetheless, it's Tom Izzo in March, and the Duke team is really young. Although Cameron Boozer won unanimous all team or all first team or whatever, all American. That Duke team is good, but I think I just trust Tom Izzo and his experience in March. That's kind of why I chose Michigan State to come out of the East. But yeah, like you had mentioned, the most of the round of 64 games were chalked out of the East at least. Like I'm pretty sure St. John's beat you and I by almost 30 points. Uh, and then, like you had already touched on, the St. John's Kansas game yesterday was a good game. It was back and forth. But NIL has exposed Bill Self and that shitty fucking Jayhawks team. Kansas is a joke. Darren Peterson's like Anthony Richardson. He's a bum. Who cares if he comes back for another year? It's going to do nothing for his shitty career. Um, Nonetheless, I only had a couple upsets picked in the round of 64 for the East, where I had USF knocking off Louisville in that first round. It was a close game. And then I also had UCLA beating U, or I had UCF beating UCLA, which was another close game. But I think for the most part, the round of 64 and then this weekend's round of 32 were pretty chalk in the East. Like the remaining seeds in the East are what? The one, two, three, five seeds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, I think the East, a lot of people thought it was going to be the hardest region, and I still kind of think it is. I mean, Duke and St. John's, I think probably will be definitely, I think, in the top three of best games coming up this Sweet 16 weekend because St. John's is on a run that it's
Rick
hard to stop.
Pitino's a dog.
Rick Pitino, John Shire is trying to fill in for probably the greatest coach of all time in Coach K.
Yeah.
And
Shout out Coach K.
Shire's been able to get some dogs. I mean, Con Knippel and Cooper Flag last year, we see the talent that they had and what they're doing in the NBA. And then Cam Boozer's probably my favorite player in this draft. He's just like a baby Tim Duncan to me. Consistently 20 and 10. You can mark him down every single night for that. I am a little concerned though about Duke. I think
Yeah.
Cam Boozer is a winner and he is able to win it, all in high school. And Duke's obviously done really well this season. But other than him, what are we going to get from the Sar kid, Isaiah Evans. His brother, he
He's all
definitely
right.
played well down the stretch, but I just think that Duke really hasn't had much to worry about. I think they came out of the gates way too confident against Siena, and we saw that almost bit them in the ass. And then TCU, they were just a middle of the road Big 12 team. They really didn't have a lot to show for it. I think St. John's is going to give them a hell of a run. I think the 6.5 spread is way too big. I think St. John's will keep this close. I do think Duke will pull away, but I do really like your prediction of Michigan State rolling, rolling and all the way through and even going into the Final Four. That Michigan State UConn game is going to be unreal because
Yeah.
UConn, I mean, Caravan, he has been there for the last couple of years. If they do win the title, he'll have 3 rings, which is unheard of. Just consistently staying with the same team in the NIL era. We see a bunch of these players. It's funny on the broadcast. I was watching one of the games and they were like, "Oh, the UCLA to Nebraska to Texas to Iowa State now at Florida." Like these players just bounce around every single year. It's just kind of a 1 year contract. So